Senator Kaine is up now.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Director Young. You highlighted the job gains that we've seen under President Biden. That's been remarkable, with an unemployment rate as low as it's been in many decades. But the flip side is that I'm hearing from an awful lot of employers who are having a hard time hiring people. A low unemployment rate is good, but it does create labor market challenges. At the same time, I'm hearing from people all across Virginia who want to work, who have great skills, want to be in the workforce, but what's holding them up is the lack of high-quality, affordable child care. I think you mentioned this in one of your interchanges with either Senator Whitehouse or Senator Murray. How will President Biden's budget continue progress in dealing with this issue by funding child care that will be good for kids and parents, but also be good for the productivity of our nation's economy?
Yeah, it matters what you invest in, and we believe we have to grow the economy, and one of the important pieces of the President's investments is child care. You've always funded, or for the foreseeable past, funded child care block grants. I think everyone here would suggest that's not enough, but this budget does, because it's our one existing program on the federal level at $1 billion, building on the 30% increase Congress provided to that program on a bipartisan basis. So we thank you for that. We also go further, and we would establish a mandatory program that would, frankly, be a game changer for parents across this country. And the President believes that, along with our pre-K proposals, universal pre-K4, and for those high performers, pre-K3, between those child care proposals and pre-K proposals, families, especially women who we saw drop out of the workforce during COVID, can re-enter, and we can grow our labor pool and get more people into these jobs.
Thank you for that answer, and I look forward to supporting more child care investments. Virginia is home of an awful lot of federal employees. They've been doing important work, maybe particularly the last few years as the constituent needs and demands escalated during COVID. Their wages and salaries haven't been keeping up with the cost of living. Talk to me about what the Biden budget does with respect to pay raise for both civilian federal workers and our service members.
So, one, parity is very important to us. For the last three budgets, we have put forth a proposal to provide civilians and military. Many times in DOD, civilian and military personnel sitting next to each other towards the same mission. It's only right that both receive the same pay increase, the same COLA. We also took the recommendation of the ECI. The pay raise of 5.2% was built based on economic factors. And it was right to follow that recommendation on an equal basis with the military and with civilians, many of them who worked diligently during COVID, after COVID, and for the American people. And so we followed the recommendations of that economic index because it was the right thing to do, and our federal workers really have overperformed during this difficult time where the federal government really had to respond to make sure our economy and our people got through this pandemic.
Here's a question on a topic that is completely bipartisan, not only in this body but everywhere in this country. It's a desire to reduce deaths by fentanyl, and the desire to invest in strategies that will reduce fentanyl being brought into the United States. Most fentanyl that comes in comes across the southern border. It doesn't come in people's backpacks. It comes through ports of entry. Cartels know that they can load trucks up with fentanyl. We only have technology to inspect every few trucks, and they'll run the lottery risk of getting caught every once in a while if they can get fentanyl through our ports of entry. What does the Biden budget do to address strategies for interdicting more fentanyl at our ports of entry?
So one, I've seen it. I've gone to land ports of entry. You see the car doors popped off and a pack full of narcotics, a lot of it fentanyl. It's coming, as you pointed out, through our ports of entry, so we have got to have resources at our ports of entry to make sure we have the equipment in place. The infrastructure law I've mentioned a lot today started us down that path of real true investments in our land ports of entry, and we're going to build on that. This budget would have over $500 million for border technology that will also help with technology that would look for fentanyl. Additionally, $40 million for ICE to combat fentanyl trafficking and disrupt transnational criminal organizations to get at the root of the problem, and $9 million to expand DEA's operations there. So we've got to keep a forward foot and deal with this problem before it gets across the border.
Thank you, Director Young. I yield back, Mr. Chair.